Cup and you win it. The new European champions, the treble, the dream come true for you.
Oh, I can't believe it. I can't believe it. Football, by the hell.
Hello guys, hope your day's going well. Today I'm with John for another Premier League game week review. How are you, John?
I'm all right, mate. I'm more now depressed after watching that intro, to be quite honest with you. Look how he used to be.
Throwing back to the good old days of United.
No. Oh, my days.
But we're just going to be reviewing the whole Premier League game week.
Okay.
And we're going to start off with Brighton Crystal Palace, and then we're going to go into Manchester United.
Okay.
Now, with both teams, Brighton and Crystal Palace, doing very, very well this season. And I'm not sure if you've seen, I'm a big advocate of Graham Potter, and we're now looking for a permanent manager to come in after Ralph Rangnick's temporary reign. And I think Graham Potter should be in the mix for that. I want to get your thoughts on Graham Potter and how he's got Brighton playing.
I do like the way that they're playing. You know, they're playing definitely above the levels that they once were, you know, the few times that they have been in the Premier League relegated and come back up again. So, you know, it is a style that they've been working on for a while. And for a Brighton, I think that suits. I'm not saying that he wouldn't suit, say, Manchester United's style, because right now we haven't got a style. So anything better than we got right now would even improve us. I just kind of think that would he be able to come in and demand the respect from players that are more than likely going to be on a higher wage than him, got more of an ego than him. You know, we currently sit ourselves in a ego FC right now, like who's the biggest character in the dressing room. So I'm not sure about that, but I think he is a quality manager. You know, I think if, for example, Everton right now, they need a new manager. You know, so they could go for Potter, and that would improve them, and he would go to a higher level of ego control, and to see if that worked, then maybe a step to a bigger club.
Yeah, possibly. And I've discussed Graham Potter with a lot of people because I've been sort of a big advocate of Graham Potter ball, or whatever you would call it. And I also like a few players from Brighton as well. I'm sure you must know by now. One of my dream signings currently for Man United is Tariq Lamptey.
I was thinking Lamptey myself. He is a quality player.
Yeah, 100%.
I could imagine Lamptey on one wing back and Ethan Laird as our other wing back, and for a good few years that would be a very strong partnership. Not 100%. Partnership, but you know what I mean, like a good quality on each side, which is
100%
something we do lack currently.
100%. And if you're looking at obviously Crystal Palace, you see Conor Gallagher, and he's always the star of the show, like every single game. And I'm going to keep mentioning this on the channel. I've been mentioning it for weeks. Last season, when he was at West Brom, and I watched the games with my uncle, and I kept saying to my uncle, this Conor Gallagher kid, he looked promising, and my uncle kept doubting him, and I'm proud of myself for sort of seeing him and seeing the star in him. Now, he seems to be the star of the show. Do you reckon he just suits Patrick Vieira's system, or do you reckon he could go to Chelsea and go back to Chelsea and thrive in that system, and maybe even get into the team?
I think it'd be a difficult one for the Chelsea breaking into that Chelsea team, because they're just so packed in near enough every area. You know, I'm not going to pretend like I know every player that plays for them and stuff like that, but you know how like they got done for hoarding too much talent at one point, didn't they? That's why they got their transfer ban. So, you know, I do find that hard. If I was someone like Conor, is it Conor? Isn't it?
Conor Gallagher,
yeah, Conor Gallagher. I would seriously think about staying at a club like Crystal Palace, gaining that experience. Because the more experience you gain, the more likely you are going to be pulled up by a bigger team for, you know, European football and things like that. And no joke of anything, though, like most Premier League teams are owned by a roughly big millionaire or billionaire, so they're not skin. So, you know, they could be pushing for their own sort of, you know, Europa Conference at first, and then go into Europa League in the next season. So they might have their own, you know, plans in place.
Yeah, and they seem to be doing really well under Patrick Vieira. Obviously, with Roy Hodgson, you knew what you was going to get. It was sort of a very well drilled system, and
Yeah,
it kept them up and things like that, and they did well. But
yeah.
it must be very exciting for Crystal Palace fans to see Patrick Vieira doing well as a manager there. It must
Oh,
be
of
very exciting.
course. It can't be, you know, you look at it, you think that you've gone from maybe the 80s, 90s styling of football under
Yeah,
Roy Hodgson, which, you know, he's won trophies as a manager. You know, he's he has, you know, was it Inter Milan that he managed for a while, you know, so he was a good quality
yeah,
of coach. So, you know, what you get, we had him for England for a while. We looked kind of
terrible,
dangerous.
I think.
I think we looked kind of dangerous at times, but then we looked like lost in the midfield, which
Yeah,
sort of reminds me of United, to be fair. So
yeah,
that would be I think Vieira brings a new lease of life
100%.
to them. You know, it's a new school. It's something fresh, and you know, every manager has an opportunity to impress. It's just obviously what level you go to and where you go to, you know.
Yeah,
So I don't think Crystal Palace is a bad team to home your craft in as a manager yourself. You know, you could do 5-6 years, get your experience, move on somewhere else. For example, you could see someone like maybe Sean Dyche coming in after maybe Vieira
yeah.
moves to, say, I don't know, Arsenal maybe, or City or somewhere. I'm not saying that he's going to get
Yeah,
there, but for example, if that happened. So I think that's a fair way of thinking about it. What do you think?
100%. I'll just get into the first two comments before we go into the
Yeah,
counselling
man.
session of Manchester
That's
United.
gonna need it.
Afternoon, both. Looking forward to the show, says Blakey. I appreciate that. I hope you're having a good day, Gavin. Niall says, big up, guys. Hope you're both well again. Go and check out Niall's channel. Let's Talk Premier League. Also, you've got a channel, haven't you, John? Is it called The United Way?
Yeah, the United Way. It's been MIA for a while.
Okay,
Missing in
go and check
action,
it
man.
out either way. I'm subscribed to it, and you guys should do too. Now,
Thank you, man.
Man United. The title of this stream is "What is the issue?" And I've sort of discussed it very briefly on yesterday's stream, in the sense of the most frustrating thing watching this United team for me is losing the ball so many times. I've never known a United team to lose the ball so many times. Now, I want to sort of discuss with you going back a few months.
Mm-hmm.
Was it Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's fault, or was it the players' fault? Because I don't think it was.
I think it's commitment. It's down to commitment. You can't go from second half FC, from losing positions, to going out winning games with your commitment, the same tactics and plans that obviously they didn't want to go out there and concede first. No team ever does. No player wants to, no manager wants to, no coaches want to. So for that example, then you look at the way that we increased our quality in the transfer window with bringing in Varane, bringing in Ronaldo, bringing in Sancho. This is something that we needed. We had the right wing that we had been calling out for since Ronaldo left. We finally get that sorted and bring Ronaldo back, which is kind of remarkable to me. And then we had the centre back. We needed a better centre back pairing between Lindelof and Maguire, so we got that. What else did we actually need? We didn't need a striker because we already got Cavani, we had Rashford, we had Martial, we had Greenwood. We were pretty stacked in that position. So the only position we needed then was DM. Didn't go and get the DM, which of course ended up being a big downfall for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. It's been a downfall currently now for Ralph Rangnick, and I can't really say Carrick had a problem with it because Carrick kind of went out unbeaten, so he was all right. But that showed the problems that had started, and then Cristiano Ronaldo comes in. Most people then said, "That's it, Manchester United are title contenders. We're winning the league," which is something that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer made us believe. Like there was and the players, because of the commitment they put in. We then go from that to then Ollie's not good enough. New coaches need to come in, and then Manchester United will be title contenders. that's happened, and now that hasn't worked out. There was no manager bounce like say Solskjaer had when he came in. It was 13 games unbeaten. It's a frustration, and I want to cry.
Oh, apologies that you sort of upset there.
So frustrating. Like, no,
Yeah,
wouldn't ever cry, but that situation is that frustration. Like,
yeah, it's
you
really...
love something so much because we've followed them from when we were kids, seen the greatness. Even if we hadn't seen greatness, it's still that supporting. You have to support your team in that bad time, because if you're not supporting your team in the bad time, when it comes to the good time, you can't walk on there and go, "Yeah, we're doing great. Look how I knew we'd end up this way," but you didn't, because you always said that we were crap or whatever, and that's where we come to right now. Very divided in a
100%.
and in the club and in the fan base. Sorry, carry on.
No, it's fine. I've mentioned this a few times recently. There's a tweet from me on the 8th of November. I think I've got the screenshot of it on my phone somewhere, and it says, obviously this is after the Liverpool defeat, which is obviously our biggest defeat in a very, very long time, if not ever. It said, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer probably should go because the players have stopped playing for him. But that will not change the fact that we have a squad full of lazy players that do not care and that are there for the ego and the money.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if we're going back even further, which I'm sure many of us have discussed with whoever else, like recently, going back even further, I think the downfall of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was because he wasn't the best in the world tactically. I'm sure we can both agree on that.
Of course.
I think the downfall was when the McTominay and Fred partnership came in. Now, I won't call it the actual name of the partnership because I feel like that's a little bit disrespectful to both players.
Of course, it is.
Yeah, and I think that was partly to do with Pogba coming out the night before the Leipzig game. On that last season, the Leipzig game was saying, "I want to leave the club," or something like that. It was a huge bombshell that he dropped. And it sort of left Ollie in a difficult situation. And then he became stubborn. But I think if we didn't sign Ronaldo, it's going to sound stupid, this. If we didn't sign Ronaldo, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer would still be here. And that's not to say it's Ronaldo's fault. And this goes to Niall's comment here. Did Ronaldo upset the balance of the squad? Do you think it did?
Yeah, 100%. Like, you got to look that you've worked away for 2 years nearly at the time of counter-attacking football, sit back and break on a defend, soak up possession, soak up pressure. And that's what Sir Alex worked himself on, was doing that sort of style of play, should we call it? Because we didn't really call it a style of play when we were doing it years ago. It was just the way that we did it, and it worked. No one complained that we sat back. Sorry, for the first 5 minutes we attacked, made it look good, and then for at least 10-15 minutes we sat in the pressure zone and allowed the team to feel that they were in a control. And then next thing they know, they've had a break on them, and we've scored within about 10-15 seconds of collecting the ball, which, when we did that, that it was against Newcastle, where it was the back heel to Fernandes, and Fernandes slapped it in the back of the net, and people went, "Oh, Ollie's got no tactics, no ball." That's how we played. Now, can we play the same way now with Ronaldo in the team? Realistically, no, we can't. You're not going to have Ronaldo, even though he's still quick. I'm not turning around and he's not quick or anything, like he's as Zlatan, I'm going to have to walk with a crutch and a Zimmer frame to the actual. And it's not like that. Yeah. We get that, but he's not going to consistently do that. You ain't going to get 5-6 attacks in the space of 20 minutes doing that exact same thing, because you're going to knacker him. What's the point of doing that anyway? So you have to change the way that you play, which meant sort of the way I've been explaining it to it is the Van Persie, Sir Alex. I think Rio said it, even Van Persie said it. If you don't get Van Persie the ball, you're not playing. He's going to win you the title, get it to him. Now, I don't think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer could turn around and be able to say that to this group of lads. That's the situation. They're too fluffy. Like they couldn't take a little bit of grit and sandpaper to themselves to actually make them a better, stronger, not better, sorry, that's the wrong way to say it, stronger than they are. That's why you look at, for example, Cristiano coming out in this interview saying that these players need to step up the game, look at what we show them as a role model or whatever, and look up to that, which you could see, like, if you had put Cristiano's mentality into most of these players, what would they be like? We talk about Paul Pogba on a regular basis, every fan base, every day, without a shadow of a doubt. You put Ronaldo's work ethic in Paul Pogba's talent, remarkable, ridiculous, wouldn't be touchable. You could do the exact same thing with, I don't know, Luminek, Maguire, even put his work rate in there. Sure, his work rate.
100%.
That's the situation that we sit ourselves in. Like we were saying before, too rich, too soft, can't be bothered. Like we're talking about, it's dark outside when they have to leave the.
Ridiculous. That annoyed me really badly.
They understand that they can turn the headlights on the car on. Like it's just like that. And especially when they got a Bentley, I bet you that would probably like light up the night sky.
If you're comparing these, like, we've got a squad full of superstars, so like Paul Pogba is a global superstar, and we'll compare him to global superstars that have played for Manchester United in the past. Two of them, George Best and David Beckham, both in very different times.
Of course.
And David Beckham married the most famous pop star in the world that time, possibly.
Yep.
And he was also kind of a model, if that makes sense. But he also focused on the pitch as well. I feel like these players want what I would call superstar Love Island sort of lifestyle, where it's just fame and money and glamorous.
I put a tweet out the other day saying that if De Gea is worth £375,000 a week, Van der Sar was definitely worth at least £500,000 a week.
100%.
If Paul Pogba is wanting £500,000 a week to sign a contract at Manchester United, Roy Keane was worth £1 million a week.
Yeah, 100%.
Then this is the way that we sit ourselves right now. We're handing out to commercial deals. This is what it is. It's commercial. We're not a team of winners of players. Paul Pogba, brand. Cavani, South American area that we're trying to break into. That's why we got Pellistri as well. More markability in a different country. Same with Ronaldo, Bruno, all in Portugal now. We're just drilled into there. Like, so we're not thinking about the players that will make our team better. We're thinking about how we're going to make better interactions in a different market. Then this is the situation. We could play badly, probably be relegated, but because of the brand exposure that we have worldwide, we'd still get sponsors that would sponsor us. Might not be Adidas, but it would still be someone else. So they're not going to lose money in any sense.
Not at all. And Donny, so Armani says we've never had a consistent 90 minutes for years now. Do you agree with that?
No, we haven't. We seriously haven't. Like, realistically, we will have a first half FC under Ralph now, or with second half FC under Ollie. Actually, we probably could have had a consistent 90 minutes under Louis van Gaal, but I don't know if anybody was actually awake for 90 minutes for that games. Exactly. Like, how many 0-0s and 1-0s? It doesn't matter if you win 1-0 every game, you're still winning the league with 38 goals scored and all the points. But how likely are you to do this? Like, every time we've recently scored a goal, I've thought to myself, we're going to defend this lead here. And people complain that Ollie used to try and do something like that when he didn't. So it's remarkable that the one rule is okay for one, but not for the other. And one actually had a link to Manchester United, who wanted to see Manchester United. Like, realistically, does Ralph really care? He's employed, but does he care?
I'm not sure. That's what we sort of, a lot of us fans fell in love with, the sort of idea. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was obviously a club legend and obviously cared. We can see that at the end of his interview, leaving, and throughout the whole of his time at United, manager and player. And it just sort of all fell apart, and I don't think it was specifically his fault. There's a story that came out last week. I'm not sure if you read the story, but someone asked Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, it just said a senior member of staff at Manchester United asked Ole Gunnar Solskjaer why he didn't sort of expose the stories of the players that are being exposed over the past few weeks. And apparently he just shrugged his shoulders because he knew that's what they were like. He knew that he had no leg to stand on because they'd thrown him under the bus. We've got a lot of the fan base had sort of thrown him under the bus. And it was obviously it became unbearable towards the end where it's like the whole of the online, well, not online fan base, but the whole of the people that are online supporting Manchester United sort of want Ole Gunnar Solskjaer out. Now, I said yesterday, I don't think there should even be this manager in or this manager out. Should be back your manager till the very end and support your club and the traditions and values that come with that club. I can't. And then I'm getting all this sort of talk about standards and things like that, but we can't specifically change anything. We want to win, and we can only back the manager that's in charge and back the team. Do you agree with that?
That's 100%. You're all right with that. There's nothing we can do. We're out of control. And this is a problem with human beings in general. Like, when something's out of our control, we feel at our worst. You know, if you're sat in a situation and you're out of control of that situation, it's sort of like being on a plane while the pilot's unconscious and you're going down. You're trying to pull that stick up, but you're not getting it up. Out of control of your situation, nothing you can do about it. So this is sort of Manchester United in general. We are, as fans, out of control of this situation that we can enjoy, because you look at City, you look at Chelsea, you look at Liverpool and see how pretty much those clubs have been run for the last 15 years. We are jealous. Like, no one can tell us that we're not, but they can, but this is a barefaced lie, because we want to be run like that. We'd love the Bayern Munich way of running a football club, because we'd have been iconic. We'd have been ridiculous.
100%.
We'd have been like 15 leagues in a row, because the situation that we set ourselves in, with being the richest club in pretty much the world, we can go and buy who we want when we want.
And it's run by the fans as well, Bayern Munich. I've been to the Allianz Arena and had a tour around the Allianz Arena, and they've educated me on sort of how the club is running. It's run very well.
140 odd pounds for a season ticket.
Yeah, it's
140.
Nothing like that now at United.
600 and some pounds for
Gavin
the
says,
minimum crap one.
We had issues getting the ball to Cavani, Martial, and Greenwood before Ronaldo came, so he hasn't upset the balance. It was already bad, but I think he's upset it even more personally. I think we're trying to fit him in.
No, but it's not that. It's not the fact that we couldn't get the balls to them, because we were scoring goals. We were, we wouldn't have come second if we weren't scoring goals. We wouldn't have come second if we weren't winning games. So we clearly were doing the job. It wasn't that. We've been probably lacking worse getting the ball to these players. But you realistically look at what players have come in and come out of Manchester United to benefit that. Even in the third season, Raphael wasn't even playing. Like, he had one game for Ole before he got sacked. So it wasn't like he had a time to actually gel the team together. You bought Sancho for this attacking, counter-attacking football, and then the opportunity to see Ronaldo come back couldn't stop the Glazers from making so much money personally off that deal. And we then lose. You think Bruno, by the time of the 18th game this season, was on near enough 20 goal involvements in the league.
Yeah.
He was on 3 by that time in the league, 3. So we've lost 15 goal involvements, while Ronaldo only had 11 in the league. Yeah. So in that same time, we have dropped goal involvements. Now, that's not just goals, and it's actually assists as well. So with that, we've changed the way that Bruno plays. He was that guy that linked up the play. You had Rashford, you had Greenwood bombing down, and he could pass the ball out, and he could mess the ball up. But at the same time, you've gained distance back up the pitch, while having a very mobile attack, which was free fluid. It would swap interchange, so no one could even get comfortable in the opposition defense, not knowing which one was coming from which direction. So we know that that's sort of changed, because if you watch Ronaldo drop into midfield to collect a ball, who's up in attack? Nobody's replacing Ronaldo's space. So defenders will happily just allow Ronaldo to go back into midfield because they're not in danger.
And he does that often as well. He has to come deep.
Yeah, because he's annoyed that no one's passing him the fucking ball.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Sorry for swearing, but that's
no, it's fine. I swear very often on this channel. Crybaby FC, Imani says, very true. Kenny TV, make sure you go and check out Kenny TV as well, guys. Thank you for coming in and chat, Kenny. We've had a consistent 90 minutes under Ollie, 9-0 versus Southampton.
Yeah, we had
that was
plenty
probably
under
the
Ollie.
best game ever.
We had plenty under Ollie. It was just that we didn't have them few and far between. We had a few and far between, I guess. It wasn't consistently great.
No, yeah, exactly, yeah. 6-2 versus 6-2 versus Leeds, 5-1 versus Leeds, debatable. I think we played very well both them games.
Oh, what the two bangers by McTominay wasn't a great
within 8 minutes as well.
Yeah,
if only we were there to see that.
To be honest with you, it was all fine. Did you not see the Leeds reactions, fan cam reaction? Not this at the end.
The one with his girlfriend, I think.
Oh yeah, and he went mental.
Yeah.
Well worth it. It's well worth it. You sat there 100%.
Going 100%. Because I've never really seen us play. Well, I've seen us play Leeds in, I think it was 2010, and we lost 1-0 to the Beckford goal. And I'd never really seen us play Leeds before that, because obviously I'm only 19. I'd never really seen us play and battered them the first game.
It's a good feeling, because to 100%. Say 17 years they were out of the Premier League for. So for me, it was, because I'm 35 this year. So it's good to see him back, you know, just for the just even for the banters, like.
Exactly, yeah. Still a problem though. Only a few games, 2 of them against the same side. Yeah, it is a problem. We have to start performing 90 minutes.
Ronaldo not being in both the games for Aston Villa was a problem. You can see that. Like,
I get just gone, or the one at home.
Both. Well, you know, you think? Because he wasn't in the cup. Then he wasn't in the Prem game either.
No.
So, he's our focal point, and he's not there. We have Cavani, but right now Cavani isn't. In fact, because the way that we've changed the system, he knows that he's now got to drop back to collect balls, which is what Ronaldo does, which means more defenses are happy to leave it.
It's ridiculous because Ollie's system, which people still say he didn't have a system, Ollie's system suited Bruno Fernandes as a free roaming 10. It suited Edinson Cavani. It suited Greenwood to an extent on that right wing. Obviously, we would have preferred him in the number 9, but it suited him to an extent. It suited McTominay some games. It suited Maguire to an extent, I would argue. It 100% suited Luke Shawberto Carlos last season. And people still say he had no system. And I'm there thinking he made a system to suit most of our players.
The thing, what it is what they actually mean is it's a system that they don't like or agree with. So it's not a system, which makes no sense. But they roll on that because it's their sense. And when they have got little sense, people with sense are less likely to understand said sense.
Exactly, yeah. Kenny says, how long do you guys think we'll stay in this situation? How long do you think?
Forever. Forever. When I say ever, I mean ever. And I mean ever. No, jokes aside, unless we get someone in that's going to be football business related, who's going to start putting it down onto the pitch, it makes no difference. Don't expect us to be challenging for anything. We are a cup team at best, which goes full circle because when Sir Alex came to Manchester United, we were only a cup team. We were an FA Cup team.
Yeah, I still believe. I'm still going to try and be positive and say we're going to win the Champions League and the FA Cup. Just trying to be positive. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly.
On our day, we can beat anybody, but don't ask us to do it on a consistent basis.
No, exactly. Yeah. But Dia says, hello. Hope you're all right, Dia. Pineapple says, Sue. Imani says, the 6-2 versus Leeds could have been 9-5 to us. But I would prefer to win 6-2 or 9-5 than 1-0, would you?
Yeah, but at the same time, when you see City play, they could win 19-0, but they don't.
Exactly, yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, now, I'm not being disrespectful to Donny. It's just, I get what you mean, but it's football. Like, there's many a times where we could have won 1-0 and we didn't do. Last season when we had, like, Lindelof being eyes covered against Brighton, or was it West Brom or somebody? You know, things like this happen.
Yeah.
They cheated and got a goal, and we didn't win the game.
West Brom.
Sheffield United again, same principle.
Yep. Pineapple says, I hate Leeds. He's a Bradford fan, so he will hate Leeds.
Fair.
6-2 Leeds, watching my boy Boss McSauce score 2 in 2 minutes.
That's it.
I'm always backing McTominay, me. Well, I back all the players.
Tasty McTominay, man. McTerminator. Cannot be my man.
If you play him box to box, I genuinely think he's one of the most underrated players in the league.
He's a striker. People forget this. As a youth, all he did was play as a striker. He wasn't a centre back. He wasn't a centre midfielder. The only time he became a centre midfielder was when we had lack of centre midfielders and defenders, and when Jose decided to start putting him in defence just to.
I remember that, just to prove a point. Yeah, against Newcastle, and then he changed it at half time, and we won 3-2.
And everyone said that should have been the game that he should have been sacked off anyway.
I remember, I remember very clearly.
And I will say at that time I was a staunch Jose outer. I was so pissed off after he turned around and talked about the knocking us out, and it was like football heritage moment. I was like,
the moment I went sort of, Jose has to go, was the very moment when I saw the look on Ed Woodward's face of disgust against Liverpool. It was the game just before he got sacked.
Yeah.
And it went onto Ed Woodward's face on Sky, and he just looked disgusted.
Yeah.
And when Ed Woodward, who doesn't care, looks disgusted, you know that the manager's lost his job at that point.
Yeah, you could see it in his face. He was visualizing Jose's P45.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Niall says, this is the sort of season where you finish 10th but win the Champions League. I keep saying this same thing, and I hope people are listening because I believe it myself.
Well, Jose put all his eggs in one basket to win the Europa League. Just remember that. Manchester United, not once in my years of living have I ever seen Man United go, we're just going to give up for this league. Never once. And we had to, because it was the mentality Jose set for us. Could you imagine we lost that and we only won the League Cup? Do you think you'd have had a job? Sixth place? Chance. No. So we're going to sit in the same situation. Now, it's mostly down to the players, down to Ollie for not changing the system. Like, even though I rate Ollie and I want Ollie to succeed, I knew that some of the situations that he is left himself in, where he wasn't changing the personnel around, giving other players a chance to actually shine, was a problem. But again, you had to win games, and you wanted to trust the ones that you trusted to win your games last season to this season. Why would you change that? You think that they would be trustworthy?
Yeah,
didn't work out so well.
Dia says a question. Last season, Maguire and Lindelof was a massive partnership issue. Lindelof will get most criticism. Do you think Maguire was the problem after all?
No, because when Maguire came in, we went from conceding 50-odd goals in the league to 30-odd. And we had one of the best defenses in the full of Europe when he came in. So he's not the problem. The changes of system, the getting further up the pitch is your problem for both players. Yeah. When you can sit deep and they're both in there, you're not got an issue. You never really have an issue. We hadn't had it until pretty much the end of last season and this season, because people on Twitter, a lot of Twitter managers thought that they knew best and putting on pressure to the club, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer and the players to play this more attacking brand of football, more football, which we would.
The players weren't really capable of either.
They weren't. They weren't happy to do that. They were happy with their break from the back, move it quick, because that suited our players, suited our system. Even Bruno, with the releasing the ball like he did, suited him, suited the team, suited Maguire, because of the defensive responsibilities were not less. They were still there, but you weren't lifting him up the pitch by 10 yards. Then he got to then use 10 yards of his pace that we know he doesn't have. We always knew that he wasn't the fastest, but he could be put in the right position. He's sweet. So I think it's down to fans in the long run, really.
Yeah, I agree with you there. I do agree with you. I think a lot of the sort of changes, the negativity is down to some fans.
And the media as well, can't
yeah,
just...
and a lot of the media are definitely 100%. Like I'm seeing Samuel Luckers constantly throw Ole Gunnar Solskjaer under the bus, even
blocked
now.
him time ago.
Even now. Yeah,
So
100%.
frustrated. What it is, right, is I've already tweeted about it. What I think about the man to him. Like, I don't give two craps, but I'm actually surprised I wasn't blocked by him after it. But because McAteer blocked me. But that was an interesting time of the lockdown, getting blocked by Jason McAteer. Anyway, vis-a-vis, but yeah, he does have a proper like hard on for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, like he's done something to him
personally to him. Yeah,
it really like.
But it's like that with there's a few fans like this. There's a few with some followers, and it's like you've got like what you would call LUHG on Twitter, which is like where it's like he's personally offended them and they hate him, and it's unbelievable.
What's happened is at on Christmas Day, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's walked in, pissed on all the presents, slapped the mum in the face, and just walked right out of the door. That's what it is.
Yeah,
that's what it is. Must be like Christmas is ruined. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's fault. Well, that's why amount of times that I've done this, like blaming loads of things. Like I've got glasses, I'm blind. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's fault. 5'3", definitely Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's fault. I'm too small for life, So everything's Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's fault. You stub your toe in the morning, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's fault. Got a bill that you didn't expect to pay, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's fault.
Exactly. That's what some of them are like.
Mm-hmm.
I hope that has helped both of us. So I needed to get some things off my chest there with United.
100%. And everybody else is probably like, that's pretty much how we feel.
Yeah, and it's the only way we can describe it in 1/2 words is it's soul draining at the moment. That is what it is.
Yeah, that's perfectly put. Actually, I couldn't probably put it any better than myself. Really, it is soul draining. Like, watching the club dying is just.
We'll go into the Wolves Southampton game, and as much as we struggled against Wolves, and we got beat, didn't we?
Oh yeah.
I tried to forget the games now.
I have forgotten the games. Like I forgot that we're playing on Wednesday, and I'm like, really, Wednesday?
Dreading it.
Brentford, innit?
Yeah, it's going to be a tough game.
We're going to get beat, aren't we?
I'll never predict us to get beat, but I wouldn't be surprised.
This is what I mean. I don't want us to lose. Like I have always wanted us to win every game, but the way that we're playing right now, the only confidence
I can't see us beating anyone.
No, the only confidence I have is the fact that Brentford are on a poor run of form. I think if this was last month when we were meant to play them, we probably would have definitely got beaten. Now it's you just flip a coin. You might as well
100%.
And knowing our luck, we flip a coin, it would land in the middle.
yeah. Wolves Southampton though. Raul Jimenez now. He had that terrible injury, didn't he? And it is good to see him come back from injury and sort of come back. And one player who Southampton, both Wolves and Southampton, I'm not sure if you've seen over the past 24 hours, have been linked with. What's happened?
Is this right? Adama scored.
Oh, I know. Unbelievable.
2022, the world's gone mad. Adama scoring.
Tottenham to side him as well.
Yeah, wow. I tell you who I actually like talking about. We're looking at the score right now. I like that James Ward-Prowse,
Oh yeah, I was discussing this with one of my mates, and she said that she thinks he should go to the World Cup, just specifically based on his set piece.
Bending it like Beckham, doing a Beckham for us.
Yeah.
I could happy that. We'd be happy with that. But then again, we haven't scored in a set piece of over how many? 100? Get him in.
Oh yeah. Like every single time I say every game, we still not scored from a corner. It's like, what is Eric Ramsey doing?
Making the tea.
Seems to be all he's doing.
He must be going to the canteen and grabbing a few snacks or something. Like
100%.
Is this all you can eat?
One player who Wolves and Southampton and Brentford, who obviously we play tomorrow, have been linked with, I'm not sure if you've seen over the past 24 hours, is Christian Eriksen.
Yeah, I hadn't actually seen that. It'd be nice to see him back in the
amazing.
In the league. You're going to expect him not to be making as much featuring as maybe he once did at Tottenham, but
to make a comeback like that though is so, to me, inspiring. And just unbelievable. Like Daley Blind did it, and it's just so good. You know what I mean? It was very upsetting to see what happened to him, especially with the coverage that BBC showed. It was disgusting.
Oh, they're awful, mate. But yeah, I remember that. Yeah, it was awful, and he gives he shows his sort of steel to men and women, boys and girls around the world. That it doesn't matter how hard something can hit you in life. It's getting up and carry on that fight, like Rocky said. That's how winning is done. Anyway,
I've never actually watched Rocky. I know. I've never watched.
Interview over. I'm done. No, but do it. You know what? There's 8 of them. Nothing but time. So do it.
Oh yeah. Well, right now, so I'll give you guys and you, John, a bit of sort of inspective or whatever it's called into a job that I'm currently doing. So I've just got a national social media manager role for a new company, a sports therapy company, and at the moment. Thank you. Appreciate that. At the moment, all I need to do is copy and paste messages to 30 to 50 people per day on Instagram and send them messages. So I'm sat there basically doing not much all day.
Just on your phone, basically doing what you normally would do.
Yeah, exactly.
I'd be like,
exactly.
Do you need a Twitter one as well? I could definitely help you on the Twitter one.
100%. Well, I've sort of promoted it once on my Twitter.
Get it done.
Yeah, 100%. But yeah, so I'm free most of the day, so I'm just basically talking most of the day about football still. But yeah, we'll go on to Norwich.
Jealous, actually. I'm not going to lie, I'm jealous. That's good. That's a pretty good job.
It's basically the dream job.
It is. I can imagine.
The only downside is getting up early.
Well, it's about making money, isn't it?
Sorry, yeah, 100%.
Just putting my phone on charge. I just looked at it.
I feel like one of the. So it's via Kickstart. I'm not sure if you know what that is.
I heard of them a bit.
So it's to help 16 to 24-year-olds get into employment easier and give them more experience. And I feel like that's one of the only good things this Conservative government have done. So I'm going to give them credit for that specifically.
Something, yeah.
Yeah.
Better than exactly. Dick, I guess.
Oh, yeah. Norwich 2, Everton 1, though. I had the Newcastle game on my Fire Stick before this game.
Yeah.
And I decided to put this game on when Norwich went 2-0 up. I think, I've said this for weeks, yeah? I think they're going to stay up, Norwich. I think they're going to do it.
Yeah, Brandon Williams is going to help. That's what it is.
Yeah, I'd take Brandon Williams back at United as backup.
We need him, to be honest with you.
Yeah, he cares.
No, but it needs, and he's academy graduate. He's getting a loan deal to a Premier League team, which not many academy graduates actually get that opportunity. Like, it's either you go out loan to a lower league team, or like Chong's done many a time. You see Bengi do it now, and other players that we have, Laird. I feel that this is something, okay, it's not what he would like to see, maybe, like, because he's losing a lot of games. I know he won this one, but the situation there is it builds character. You get that time on the time to get match fit. Also, you get used to the league more. And if you're putting in a good performance for teams like Norwich, and you can put a good performance in for a team like ourselves, you can definitely keep Shaw out of the
in his current
thing.
Form, 100%.
Yeah, that's what I mean. No Carlos couldn't keep him.
Oh,
out.
No one could.
No
with Everton, though, obviously they've just sacked Rafa Benitez, and he had to go at that point. There's talk of them interviewing Rooney today.
I don't think he'll want to take that job just yet. I think he'll want to take it at some point, but I feel that he's got a unfinished business with
100%.
Derby.
If he keeps Derby up, if he keeps doing well with Derby, it could be one of the best achievements that a British manager has done for a very long time.
Yes, 100%. Doesn't
could be up for manager of the year.
I think he would. I think if he isn't, then there's some sort of fix of what competitions being fixed when it comes to football. Never. That wouldn't happen.
No corruption here.
No.
Newcastle, Watford, though. Now it seems like both of these teams are just destined to go down, aren't they?
Well, it's depending on what the end of this transfer window goes for Newcastle, because what I don't understand is taking it back a bit to United. We've got two players right now that are complaining that they're not getting game time. We could easily send them to Newcastle for game time, but they go, we don't want that game time.
Yeah.
So
yeah, exactly. Yeah. There is a specific player that's doing that at the moment.
A couple. I think Donny was notably asked to go, not asked, but asked if he wanted to go for game time at Newcastle, because you go there, he's going to be better than half of their midfield. So
100%.
he's getting in. And then if he can show that he's proven himself worth in that club, help for our club, also him getting into into the World Cup, which is what he wants to do. So he needs to do that. Martial at the same time wants game time. I think he'd get in the left wing there at Newcastle. So that's two players who could happily get game time, are probably choosing not to. Then
yeah, I've seen that.
No skin off my nose knows if you're going to use that noise and not
get game time. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Don't worry. They're not doing it. But yeah, talking about Watford anyway. Yeah, I think then it's down to if Newcastle go out and buy a couple more mercenaries.
100%. And I think they'll end up getting Ousmane Dembele. I hope to God that we don't get him, which we've been linked with him again. I don't want him at all.
He'd be on the sideline. He'd be another Paul Pogba, another 2 seasons without him for a 5-year contract where he's sitting on the bench
on 100k a week and something like that.
If we're on 250k, he's not having any less than 250k.
No,
it's like the base salary. You get £250 in a week for your normal job. That's theirs. That's their £250,000 an hour. This is what so frustrates me about Man United as well. Fans that we sit here while idolizing and players that are on millions of pounds a month that are not putting in the effort, but yet a man that used to be on 30-40 grand a week in Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, who won us stuff, who then became manager, was not cared about so much to the point where he walked out the front door crying, while we've got footballers that are on multi-million pounds a month laughing at us on the way out of the back door.
100%. 100%. You put it perfectly there. You put it absolutely perfectly. Ibrahim is actually an up and coming journalist. I've got him on the channel on Friday.
Nice.
He says Newcastle are pushing for Dembélé. So he does get some transfer news from some sources. So maybe they are.
Sorry, that tickled me.
It's fine. Don't worry. We're here for a laugh.
That's it. We have to be. We need to laugh. If we have laugh,
if we don't laugh, we'll cry.
Yeah, 100%.
We'll go to something that will depress us, though. City beating Chelsea 1-0. I don't like to praise any of our rivals about anything. But what a goal from Kevin De Bruyne. I was sat there stunned.
He's been missing for a while, hasn't he? Really, realistically, for City.
Since Rudiger gave him a crack in the Champions League final, he's been missing.
Pretty much, yeah. He's been like on the shelf trying to repair himself, physically and mentally, emotionally.
Yeah.
They were a good team, aren't they? Sir, you got to give it to them.
Oh yeah.
Business wise, football wise, player wise.
Yeah, it's depressing, isn't it? And if we go on to if we go back to United last season, we finished second under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer to a City team that had won 26 games on a row.
Mm-hmm.
Now, no one is really going to finish above that City team or any team that wins 26 games in a row.
Not really.
Obviously, that proves we were the second best team in the league.
We were. It's just that people didn't want to admit it to themselves.
No,
like they had some personal problem and agenda with Ole to the point where they want their team to lose. It once you're at that level of narcissism, there's some issues in life. Like
100%.
Like people would, I think I've seen on Twitter, I would take 10 years or something in the Championship with a world-class manager. I was like, 5 years in the Championship with a world-class manager, then have back-to-back for 10 times Champions League and Premier League wins from Ole Gunnar Solskjaer.
Oh my God!
So you would want to be the worst. You'd rather be one of the worst teams in the league, in a second league, a different league, to the point of being the best manager in the world because he's won 10 back-to-back Premier League titles and Champions League title doubles. I don't get it. How could you not want that for your team? Like, how much bragging rights would you be having, like walking out going Premier League champion and Champions League champions 10 years in a row?
I can't believe people saying that they didn't want that. Jesus.
Yeah, it's just remarkable. It's
watching City is boring and depressing. Rather watch the Showtime Reds and get goosebumps and match tensions. You never know whether you're going to get the Showtime Reds or the No Time Reds.
Blow time Reds, more like.
yeah, exactly. Yeah,
they suck and blow at the same time.
We'll go into West Ham Leeds, which, if we're being honest, as much as we hate seeing Leeds win, this result helps us in the table.
Yeah, of course.
Top four is completely over.
No.
We have to beat Brentford.
You keep fighting until it's mathematically impossible to get where you want to be, but you don't give up before that. Though, if we see that these players are carrying on doing the way that they're doing, then 90% of these players don't deserve to be a Manchester United player. And the moment they got Ole Gunnar Solskjaer sacked, I fell out of love with them. Like the season before, loved a lot of them. I thought that they worked hard, they did what they wanted, they weren't
real
perfect.
Togetherness as well.
Yeah, they were a team. It went from that to some other like attack of the bloody body snatchers, and they just brought 11 new players that look the exact same as the old players, but not the same players. It's just
West Ham Leeds though. Now, I'm still gonna say I've seen people debating about it on Twitter. I'm still gonna say David Moyes coming to United at the time he come to United was too early. If he didn't come to United at the time he came, I think he would be linked with us now for the permanent manager job.
It's depending on how and when Everton got their money. Realistically,
true.
I think if Everton got their money a little bit earlier and he was still at Everton, I don't think we'd probably even be able to guess him right now in the situation that we would let ourselves in, because I think why would he want to remove himself from a club that he'd been there for a long time, helped to build, and that's including Murtaugh as well, John Murtaugh, because he was the one that helped build Everton with him. That's who he brought in with him from Everton. He brought Murtaugh in, didn't he? So that's the point. I think that we probably would have been struggling. I think he would have, again, though, would he have become the manager that he is today if he didn't come to United, fail, go to Sociedad, fail, come to the first time at West Ham, fail, and then...
I don't think he did fail at the first time because he kept them up and then they sacked him for no reason.
That's it. When you get sacked, it's classed as a failing. He didn't...
I don't think he did fail, though, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it wasn't a fail to us, but to his contracts and what they thought. They probably thought it wasn't good enough for what we wanted out of it. But then this time he's come back and
building something special.
Did he go to Sunderland for a while? And
I think he did. I can't remember 100%.
Yeah, I think he might have gone to Sunderland. But then again,
Jack Allison got the hat trick. Now
he did actually.
Daniel James, I thought he performed well despite not getting a goal or assist. He could have got one right at the end. I would take him back at United now had he not gone to Leeds.
I don't think he should have gone to Leeds. I really don't think we should have gone to Leeds. Like, realistically, I would have rather see us kept Dan James, not get Ronaldo and get a DM. If someone said to me, £500,000 a week on Ronaldo's wages or 100 million on Declan Rice for the next 10 years.
It's still difficult to see Ronaldo go City, though.
I don't think he would have gone City. I really don't think he'd have gone City. No, I don't think he'd go to City. Like, he wouldn't have disrespected Sir Alex. I think
it was very close to home, though, just even talks with City.
Oh, of course, but I think that was a good agent. True. He's got one of the best agents in the world, man. Don't forget that. Jorge Mendes is a ridiculous guy, bro. Like, he's got all his fingers in the
many
Wolves.
Pies.
The Wolves pie. So, nah, man, he was never going to City. Like, that man would have gone to probably, I don't know, he probably would have gone to fucking Qatar if he wanted to.
Maybe, yeah.
If money was the problem, then he would have gone somewhere like that. But I don't think money he cares. He's gonna get a hotel in Manchester now.
Oh, is he? I haven't seen that.
I've heard that he's going to invest in one in Manchester. So which is sort of understandable. He's done it everywhere else that he's lived.
Yeah, I think we should relocate Old Trafford to there's a field right near my house. I think we should relocate it to there, just so I don't have to get a bus or 2 buses.
That's fair. Why not? Why not? I think I used the tram for the first time, like all the way to Old Trafford for the first time ever, and I don't like it. I just usually just get out of my house, get on the bus, and all the way to not Old Trafford, but all the way to Manchester, and then just get one tram to pretty much outside the cricket ground. So so much easier.
Oh yeah, 100%.
And less walking because I'm a fat man. I don't like walking. So.
don't put yourself down like that. Liverpool 3, Brentford 0, and there's not much we can say about this. It was a routine win. My camera's gone out of focus, so I do apologise.
Right.
There's not much we can say about this except it was a routine win, and even though we don't like to see Liverpool win, in a way, I'm glad Brentford lost because it's sort of took a bit more of their momentum
confidence
away.
Confidence out of them. It is fair to say. Well, they were 1-0 up. They were only 1-0 up till like the 70th minute. So Brentford was sort of trying to keep themselves in the game, I guess. And I'm guessing what happened is they maybe have gone to try and get one back. And when you try and get one back, you leave yourself very open. And there's one team you don't really want to leave yourself open, as Manchester United found out, is Liverpool.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. And I just want to say, I do want to say to you, thank you, John, for coming on. I appreciate it a lot.
Thanks for having me, mate. Like,
no problem.
To be fair, like I said, I haven't really done much social media in any sort of sense, like Twitter, bit of Twitter, but apart from that, like maybe my gaming channel on Twitch when I play that, but apart from that, really don't do much. So it's just it was good to have a chat with somebody there's not a space on Twitter.
Yeah, I was listening to your space yesterday morning whilst I was working.
I saw you in there. But it's like when you get in a different Twitter space, usually you're getting like shouting at each other and stuff like that. So it's a different speed having just a one-on-one, having a chat about something, even the game week in itself, even if it is depressing for us.
100%, 100%. I hope you have a good evening as well. Are you watching the Chelsea Brighton game?
Probably not. Probably just chill out. I was going to set up a stream earlier on today for gaming, but then I thought I might as well just get myself ready for this and then maybe think about streaming a game later. But
all right,
we'll see. We'll just see.
All right, make sure you go and tune in. What's your Twitch channel?
It's twitch.tv/John Beeland. So JOHNIEB. BIELAND. Yeah, sorry.
All right. No, it's fine. It's fine.
Can't spell. Don't mind me, man.
It's fine. Thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you to you guys for tuning in as well. And I hope you all have a good evening or good day wherever you're from in the world. And we'll see you later.